CoinDesk.
Woohoo! So this week is Sports Week on CoinDesk, and there are a pile of really great articles. And the one I wanted to pull out today is written by one of our new reporters, Margot Neischkirk, who wrote about women's sports leagues and crypto. Is this an overlooked investment opportunity? And I think by the end of the article, we can probably come to the conclusion that it's heck yeah, and there should be way more investment in women's sports sponsorship opportunities. And here's why. So in 2020, women's sports globally received less than $1 billion in sponsorship. That's compared to $467 billion that went toward men's and mixed sports, including Olympic and Grand Slam events. Now, the thing is, you think, okay, well, maybe there's just not as much engagement from fans of women's sports. No, not true. According to a Nielsen report, sponsorships in women's sports have gone up by 146% since 2018. And the thing is that fans of women's sports are 25% more likely to buy sponsored products than fans of men's sports. Also, women have a fierce loyalty to their favorite athletes and teams and tend to buy more gear that way. They also have an outsized influence on decision-making and how things are spent in the home. So there's a lot of good reasons to cater to women's sports and their fan base, which is, again, often largely female. But when it comes to crypto, sports fans are twice as likely as non-sports fans to have knowledge about Bitcoin or Ethereum and other crypto, and are 3 times as likely to say they're very familiar with the workings of the crypto ecosystem. Overall, 47% of respondents to a poll by Morning Consult, these respondents who are sports fans, said they're very familiar with crypto, compared to just 39% of US adults and 23% of non-sports fans. So this is a niche audience that has a loyal fan base and a better than average understanding of crypto when you look at that small niche. So why not have more sponsorship? Why not go after the female sports figures who have some prominence and have some say on social media and could be good promoters of the brand? We've got a few. There's Naomi Osaka, who is a tennis player sponsored by FTX. Coinbase has been sponsoring Seattle women's basketball team, but there's you can almost count it on one hand what we're looking at here. So Sandali, other female in the room, what have you got to say about it?
Thanks. No, this is such a cool piece. It's super interesting, and it talks about an unexpected market that people are taking advantage of, but, could be doing better. And my first question was, and it made me kind of curious, what percentage of women sports fans are actually women? Because I wanted to see if these crypto savvy women sports fans are actually women or, more men. So I did a quick search, and I found that across a few countries like the US, UK, Italy, and Germany, where they have huge, international, sports fan bases, 51% of women's sports fans are male. So there's a pretty good balance there. But yeah, I'd like to know if this is actually promoting crypto engagement among women as well, or if it's more skewed towards men. But overall, a really cool piece and something we can definitely look more into and kind of explore. And this is my personal thing, but I think that women's engagement in crypto is still very low, and it could be better. They could be, engaged more in leadership roles. And there are so many initiatives around the world to make that happen. And it's really great to see that women's sport is kind of taking center stage and could be one of those drivers if more, as you said, investment and interest came into it. Will, I saw your hand go up.
Yeah, the numbers in this one were the coolest to me. That 25% number that you just threw out there, Christy, was really, really interesting. And of course, women's sports makes up a smaller percentage of the number of sports fans out there. But the fact that there's an outsized influence within it is really important. And it actually looks like a really good investment opportunity. If people are purchasing those things that much, that'd be a pretty smart thing to throw money at. Not financial advice, of course. But the other thing that was interesting about this was the crypto engagement across teams and sports. So like people who really enjoy sports happen to know more about crypto and happen to be more engaged with crypto. And it seems to be vice versa as well, which makes sense on an intuitive level, right? A lot of people are in sports, are also into gambling. They're also into gamification of things. They typically are playing like FIFA, things like that. And there's a lot of crossovers between those two worlds. So I'd expect these numbers to continue. But for me, this story is just awesome to see like those statistics pulled out and it just put them in context of the wider world of crypto and sports. Adam, to you before we close.
I'll keep it very quick. Seems like a perfect opportunity for Sam Bankman-Fried to deploy one of his millions and effectively double the industry while getting significantly more bang for his buck based on this conversation than I think that he's been getting from his other sponsorships. Back to you, Will.